Travel with me to Sorrento. I actually cannot believe this is my life. Okay, so my parents drove me to JFK, and of course, with my luck, there was a protest blocking the entire entrance to the airport. So traffic was so bad that a 20-minute drive turned into an hour drive, but finally I got in, and then it looked like this. I actually almost had an aneurysm. I was so stressed, but it only took a half hour to get my bags checked, and then I got on the security line, which I was optimistic for, until I literally waited an hour and a half to get into security. Probably the worst airport experience I've ever had, but I finally got through, went to my gate, and then there was a Shake Shack literally right across from my gate, so I got that for dinner and munched on that until it was time to board. But I didn't finish in time, so I had to awkwardly hold it while I was boarding, and then I boarded, and then I literally had to hoist my suitcase up in 3 different places until I could finally get it to fit, and I was actually soaked in sweat. But then some flight attendant came up to me and asked me to switch my seat with some child who was supposed to sit in the emergency seat, and I was like, hell yeah, I'll get some free extra legroom. So I moved, and then some flight attendant took my Shake Shack because he said I couldn't have the bag on my lap during takeoff. I was actually so pissed off I wanted to cry. And then the plane dinner came, and it was actually frightening. I ate a little bit of it, but it just kept getting worse, so I threw it out. And then I just chilled and watched The Crown for a little bit. Also, these Brookside chocolates are actually the best thing I've ever put in my mouth. You need to try them because they're so good. And then I tried to go to sleep, but I literally cannot sleep on planes. So here's me playing with my camera, little video. Watch out for videos on YouTube that I'm gonna be posting. But yeah, anyway, I woke up after 4-ish hours of trying to sleep because the sun came out, and then we got served breakfast, and this breakfast calzone just got worse and worse the more that I ate it. So I just ate some fruit, and then I drank some coffee, and of course applied my lip butter balm. And then we were landing. Look at how freaking beautiful Rome is. Like, I actually cannot believe that this exists in real life. And then when I got to the airport, I started having a mental breakdown because of a mix of sleep deprivation and culture shock. I've been traveling all over since I was like 2 months old, but the first place I've ever traveled where I landed and nothing was in English was here, and because of that I convinced myself that in Italy airports work completely differently and that I was doing everything wrong. I was also so hungry and was too afraid to go order food because I can't speak Italian and I was completely by myself. So here's me trying to fight back tears in the airport, but I eventually did go get a sandwich, and it was one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my life, so that's great. And then my gate was finally posted, so I went to my gate and boarded the plane, and they made me check my carry-on bag, so I was terrified that they were gonna lose it. And then the plane took off 30 minutes late, and I have no clue why, because the pilot said all the announcements in Italian. But I finally landed in Naples, and then I waited for actually 30 minutes for my bags to come out, and I was convinced that they lost both my bags, but I eventually got both of them. And then my program director picked us up at the airport and drove us to Sorrento, and this is when I started to get really excited because that's literally Mount Vesuvius.